Hello, Jai Gurudev everyone, and welcome to this another week summary. This time we are going to do 11th of April till 19th of April, the whole 8-9 pages where the time comes and talks to the sage about the mind stuff. In this particular 7-8 pages, if you are read, you will understand that we get little bit more idea about how this world is getting created by the mind and how mind is based on the factors which are not truth. And that's why if the mind is not truth and if this world is based on this mind, then everything is not truth and everything is a part of the illusion. In this few pages, this particular explanation about the mind and its illusory world has been explained very nicely by sage Vasistha in a story form. So let's begin. So on the page number 11th of April, page number 101, it is still there is a little bit of a paragraph about the last continuation of the last few pages story of King Lavana. And in that sage Vasistha continues that in a hypnotic state, King Lavana obviously saw the reflection of his own consciousness, the marriage of the prince with the tribal woman. So in that he is just continuing that how your own consciousness reflects what is happening outside, and then how you get trapped into all that. And because it is happening within you and outside you, from you, that's why you can see the reality. It is similar in an example, if you want to give us, it is similar to the dream. Sometimes you see something in a dream and then you go and see that, oh, I saw that in a dream, it's so weird. So because everything is connected, all the places, all the people, everything is connected on one subtle level. So whatever is reflected within oneself, if it depends on the purity of the intention and the purity of the perception that is happening inside the consciousness, then that particular thing can be seen or can exist outside also you. The same thing happened here. The king Lavana was hypnotized, and in his consciousness, in that pure form, he saw something, though it was not right and it was not truth. Till whatever he saw got reflected because of the purity of the consciousness and because of the existence of that particular thing somewhere else in that particular form. So he went there and he visited that places, and then he saw all those things. And yes, and then this continues there. Ni science and the self cannot have the relationship, and for the relationship cannot be same because this or similar entities, and obviously is everyone's experience. The science and self, that means the illusion and the self cannot have any relationship, for there can be relationship only between the two same things. It has to be same, something come out of that. How can you have a relationship between a tree and a seed? A seed can have a relationship with another seed because tree has come out of, tree has got a different texture, different thing, different form, and the seed from which it is come up is diminished, is gone, so it is not there. So so something like this, you cannot have the two people's relationship in between them until unless if they are not the same. Now let's go on to the page number 103, 12th of April. All relationships, this is very interesting, all the relationships therefore realization of already existing unity. It is regarded the relation, all relationship is therefore the realization of the already existing unity. It is regarded as relationship only because of the previous false and deluded assumptions of the division into the subject and object. So two relationships can happen only because of there is a delusion between the subject and object. Now this is getting very interesting. See whether you can understand this, and I will make sure that to explain it in the bestest way possible. In the middle between the sight and the seen, there is a relationship which is known as the seer. So sight means that you can see, and the seen, that is you already seen. So what is there to be seen and what is seen, in between there is the seer. Without the seer you cannot have the scene, and you cannot have the scenery, and you cannot have the scene also. Okay, so the seer is the relationship which is holding in between the sight and the scene, right? And then when the division between the seer and the sight and the scene is abolished, that it is supreme. So the moment that the seer who is being looking, seeing the sight, when that division is gone, when the seer becomes this seen, the process of seeing, and the seer becomes the process of seeing, and from there it extends and becomes the sight itself, then it becomes one, and then that is what is called, that is the supreme. That is the supreme, because see, you can't have this thing understood on the level of the body level. If you're considering yourself as a body, and if you're thinking about this, I am a body and this is a mobile or a laptop, and I'm seeing this, and then there is a process of seeing happening, and how come me and this unit become one, it will not be understood. You have to go on the subtle level, from where this body has existed, from the consciousness. Without the consciousness, this body will not be there. From where this unit has come out, it is come out from the earth, water, air element. Without earth, water, air element, there is nothing there that can be made. Whether it's a computer, whether it's a TV, whether it's your car, or whether it's a living body, everything has come from that. From where the earth, water, air, space, all those elements has come out. Again, base goes to the consciousness. So if you go down to that level, consciousness, and here is the consciousness, then you will have the understanding that is becoming one at one level. Now, the process of seeing, what is the process of seeing? That the senses that I have, the eyes, from where I'm perceiving the other sight is, and the relationship between them, and the way I'm been perceiving that particular information. That is what the process of seeing. And how, where, from where it has also come up, where does it existing? It is also existing into the consciousness. Simple. So everything on the level of the consciousness can become one, and that is what is being called as a supreme. When the mind travels from the one country to another country, in between them is a cosmic intelligence. So right now you are here. Now think about if any country outside Australia, whatever country, now you are traveling there, you have that destination, you have this destination, your mind has reached to that destination. So in between that, what is there? That is what is called is cosmic intelligence. Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankar has once very nicely informed in one of the live sessions, that if you send a SMS from one mobile and it goes to the another mobile, and it leaves from here, it reaches there, then where does it the message in between, where it is? And then he has explained that is what is the intelligence, that is what is the cosmic intelligence. Why it is called cosmic intelligence? Because it is not limited to anybody's physical body or in physical form. It is everywhere. And in today's world, you can send a SMS from one side of the world to the other side of the world, and it can easily reach. So you cannot have that limitness to the intelligence, that it is limited to this area or that area. It is just unlimited. That is what is called cosmic intelligence. Be that always, even as you are busy yourself and with the affairs of the future village, do not get tangled with the moods of your mind, and establish in truth, and regards the mind as a foreigner and a piece of wood and stone. There is no mind in infinite consciousness, and that which is done by the non-existing mind is also unreal. That which is done by the non-existence mind is also unreal. Be established into the realization. I have investigated the truth concerning the mind for a very long time, O Rama, and I have found none. Only the infinite consciousness exists. So understand this now. What is mind? Think about it. What is the mind? Now you will not see an entity sitting inside that is you can point as a mind. For your body, you can say, yes, this is my body and this is the shape of my body. This much I weigh, this much is my height, this much is my body to mass density, blah, blah, blah. You can have everything known about your body. About your mind, you cannot have that. You cannot say this is my mind, because it is just a fluctuation of energy happening inside you. A thought comes, you can think, you can feel the thought, you can feel the vibration of the thought, sensation of the thought. However, you cannot see the thought. You cannot put my thought is like 2 kilo today and my thought was 1 kilo yesterday and it's gone down. You cannot have that. So it's very subtle. Now that subtle movement of the energy happening in the energy happening inside you has got a base in it, on which platform that energy is moving. And that platform, if you go down, 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 keep taking out the layers of whatever you can think of, you will reach very core of your own being. That is, has been referred as a consciousness. Now, there are not many layers, don't think about that, but it's just the way we see the world, the way we have acquired the knowledge, the way we are thinking about all those things and creation. We ourselves had made so many layers. Someone can say after mind is state consciousness. Someone can say no, after mind is intelligence. Then there is a memory. Then there is a ego. Then there is a forms of ego. Then there is a different ways of ego. Then after that there is a the existence of who am I. And then after that there is a consciousness. You can have many things. It just depends on whatever you can experience and whatever you can identify as a separate entity, that you can make it as a layer and you can go down. Now, if this is understood, then you will understand that if you see from that point of view, established into that deep core within you as a beingness or as a consciousness, and see the movement happening in front of you, in which is been referred as a mind, then you will see no, this is not existing, because this is just depends on this is what I am seeing. The reference point is what is real, and that is what is existing. Now, another example can be given. If you go to the bottom of the surface of the ocean, and if you look up, and if you see the waves happening, do you think the existence, the reality of the wave is truth? You will say no, it's not there. It's just there because there is an air movement happening, and the same water is moving up and down, but it is the same water. The similar way, when you go to the core part of your being, then you look at the body and mind, the way it's functioning. You say it's just the projection of me being myself into that beingness, established into the beingness, and that projection, that energy movement happening. Now this energy movement, when it has got combined with the five senses and the gross form has come out, that is what we call as a body. Okay, so that is what is he's been referring as, that I have examined everything myself and there is nothing like a mind exists in this world. Now, there arises the pure wish to attain the liberation, and this leads to the serious inquiry, and the mind becomes subtle. So how can you get rid of the strength and the wholeness, the strength and the strongness of the mind is when you actually make the inquiry. When you say that, yes, what is this reality? Where is this? I want to seek liberation. I want to attain liberation. What is liberation? I want to liberate it from something, and I want to attain the liberation. So what you want to liberate it from? You want to liberate it from your own concepts, own ideas about yourself. And what is the totalness of your whole concepts and whole idea that is there, the entity is there inside you, is your mind. Your mind is nothing but the full of ideas and concepts, and whatever you are thinking about yourself, that is what is been formed. And now with those concepts, with those ideas, with that particular thickness of the mind, you see the whole world. That's why the reality of the world is not being seen that clearly. We see a picture and we see, no, this is not a correct picture, this is not right, because inside you there is a layer which is saying no to that particular expression of the picture. Now when that layer is not in someone, that person appreciate that picture and say, oh my goodness, what a lovely painting. Are you getting why there are so much of diversities in the world? Because of this thing, because of these concepts and about the rights and wrongs. It is only as long as this illusion, the Maya, is not clearly understood, that it generates the great delusion. But once it is clearly understood, it is seen as infinite. So yeah, so because of this, what we call just now, that is exactly the Maya. The Maya starts the moment you will feel separate from the cosmic intelligence and the infinite consciousness, and you start feeling it as the individual consciousness, and then you accumulate these vibrations and movements happening inside you as your own things, and make this as your own mind, and make all the concepts of the like dislikes around you and take it as a own. And when you take this ownership and you make this, and you see the whole world, you create your world through that, then it is called the Maya. And when the reality of this Maya is understood, and when you move away from that, immediately you are into the out of that, and that becomes the source of happiness, and you realize the realization of the absolute Brahman happens. Your consciousness has become pure and devoid of duality. Duality is there on the level of the mind and body. Because of your body, you see I am separate and everything is separate. The moment you drop the body, the mind is there. The moment you drop the concepts and ideas about the mind, and then you start becoming one with the consciousness, then you start feeling non-dual, and then the duality starts diminishing around you. It is said that this universe attains the seed state of the. Now Rama asked the question on the 13th of April. It is been said that this universe remains in a seed state of the Supreme Being and they manifest again and again into the next epoch. So how does this happen? Then he says, who says that the universe exists into the seed state? Now understand this. This is a very important and this is very difficult to grasp. Okay. Now he said, who said there is a seed state universe and there is all those things happening? Those who are thinking about this, they are completely ignorant. This is pure ignorant. He says that. Now why does he say that? It is then later on he gives the explanation. I will read that and then I will explain. It is appropriate to say that the tree exists in the seed, and because both of them have appropriate form, but it in that which has no form, Brahman, it is inappropriate to say that this cosmic form of the world exists. So what he's saying, that if you take a stand of the forms, then of course seed is there, and from the seed is the another form has come up, and that is a tree, and seed holds the whole tree. That's why it is there into the consciousness also in the seed form, and everything is happening. Correct. But if you let go of all the forms, and if you go and take a step into the Brahman or into the supreme consciousness, where are not all those forms are not related to that state, then how can you say there is a seed there and in every epoch that seed is going to manifest and all that? It is just accidentally manifesting and coming out in every epoch on its own. There is nothing there that you can hold off. In every epoch there is something. Now in this world that we are experiencing, we are calling it, we have got 5 senses. Previous world they might be having 6 senses, they might be having 7 senses, who knows? We don't know that, because this time the manifestation has happened and it has come out of the 5 senses, 3 gunas, and Purush and Prakritis. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, 3 gunas, Purush and Prakriti, and the 5 senses. So everything has come out. In the next epoch, who knows? There will be 11, there will be 9, there will be 10, there will be 20. Who knows? Everything is just depends on what exactly has affected the Supreme, and how the first level of the separate consciousness has come out and is thinking about it and is manifesting itself. Are you getting what I'm saying? It's a little bit difficult to understand. So you hear this again. If you are taking a stand of the physical forms, then everything in this world has got a relation about itself. If you take a form of your body, yes, this body is listening whatever this body is saying, and this is another thing. It is also in the form of the body. We will call it as a book, and everything is going. If you drop the bodies, then on the level of the minds, you will see, oh yes, emotions. I will see, I'm feeling this emotion, you are feeling that emotion, and there is an existence and a connection between the emotions. If you drop that also on the level of the consciousness, you can say, yes, this individual consciousness and that individual consciousness is connected. If you drop that also and go beyond that, then he is talking about that state, the pure Brahman or the pure consciousness. Millions of universe appear in the infinite consciousness, Chit Akash, and the specks, like the specks of the dust, has been seen into the beam of the light going through the roof of the going through the hole of the roof. Hole of the roof, you must have seen there are so many specks can be seen. Like that, there are hundreds and thousands of universes, millions of universes exist in this world, which are not relation to anything and any of each other, and they are just existing and coming out of each has got their own existence, the way it has been projected and come out of that consciousness. So after that, then again Rama asks, kindly tell me how the enormous universe exists in the mind. So it is like the universe is created by the Brahman body. How the universe is existing in the mind? You might also be thinking about that. So he says in the same way, like the universe has been created by the boys of Brahmana boys, they became the sun and they started creating their own universe. Then same like a Lavana Rishi. And then he said, I'm going to tell you another story that how the universe is getting created by the sage Bru. And then he says that, his son Shukra has been there. He's been helping his father to do the penance. And then when the father is sitting in the and doing his meditation, then this son, he sees a nymph who is passing through, and he gets fall into fall in love with her, and then his mind gets distracted, and then he goes out of the track and follows her, and lots of things happens. And then when he realizes, after that he realizes his mistakes, or whatever the mistakes or whatever he has done, and he gets into the pleasurable and unpleasurable experiences, and then he realizes he has to come out of that, and then he start doing the penance. And then after that he realizes that, he is just completely come out of that particular thing, and he's enlightened. But the moment sage Brug, he opens his eyes, Sage Brughu, he opens his eyes and he sees, my son is not there, my son is gone and he is dead. I can see his body. Then he loses all his wisdom. See what is happening. He has created this world through his mind, his son. There was a thought that I should have a son. Then he had a son. Then there was a thought that I should be doing this penance. He was doing the penance. Then there was a thought, my son should look after me when I'm doing the penance. He created that. This is the world he's created. And then when he was doing all those things, this world was vanished because of some other reasons, whatever happened in the story. And now when you open these eyes, then you realize, oh my goodness, my world is gone, but he has created this world, and he's attached to that illusion, that Maya, that world he's created. He thinks he lost his son. And then he became angry, and because he became angry and he had a power, he called the time, Kaladev. He called him and he asked him why this has happened. I'm going to he was little bit not happy with all those things, and he called the time to explain all those things. When the time came, time said to him, why are you worried about all those things? You are so much wise and you are doing all those penances and all that, and you know that I am time. Nothing has ever surpassed me. I am actually the one who has destroyed the countless being, even the gods and all these universes and everything. I am the consumer and you are the food. Everything that is there in the form is consumed by the time. It is time bound, and there is no option for that. There is no other way that you can come out of that. Fire by its very nature goes upward and the water flows downward. Food seeks by the consumer, and the created object seeks to their end. So everything that has been created has to have an end. The time tells him that, you are indeed the knower of the truth, and you know that there is no doership or not non-doership. So you cannot say I am doing something or I am not doing something. You have to come out of that. Creatures come and go like flowers of the trees, and these can be considered real and unreal. All this is happening in the time, and this can be considered as real or unreal. For when the surface of the lake is agitated, the reflection of the moon is also agitated. Like if your mind is agitated, then everything you see through that is similar to that, But this can be considered both true or false. So if you are seeing on the level of the mind, it is true. If you are not seeing on the level of the mind, if you are seeing the level of the consciousness, then this is all false. So then he said, give away your anger, O sage, and what has to be done? What has to be done by the wise men, remaining the egoless and unselfish. As in deep sleep, do not let this violated. As if in deep sleep, so understand, in deep sleep you do not have any ego. In deep sleep you do not have any selfishness. You are just there, one with the whole consciousness, whole universal consciousness. Not even individual consciousness is also not there. Your existence is completely gone. So the same way that egoless and selflessness state is there, the same state you should be there, and you should do your duties, what it has to be done and what not has to be done. Surely you know everything. Everyone has got two bodies. One is a physical body and one is a mental body. Physical body has got the destructions, but the mental body you cannot destroy. It is the mind is disturbed in you. mind makes the body dance on its tunes and bringing about successive changes. Mind itself is both sentient and insentient being. Mind itself is a function as determination is known as intellect, and its function is an identification is known as ego sense. So because of this mind the intellect is there, and because of this intellect the ego sense is there. He has given a very nice explanation how the mind is there. And then he also says, come and I will tell you where your son has been when you were meditating. And he, the time, because it's there in the time, so he just took it past and he just showed him everything. And then that realization happened to this sage Braghu, and then he said, I'm so, yes, he actually said, Lord, you are indeed the knower of the past, present, and future, whereas I am of the little understanding, and the world appearance has gone through the unreal appear. The world appearance which through unreal appears to be real, with the delusion diluted even the heroic men. So he said, of course, the big wise people also get diluted by this. So I am also got diluted by this, and surely all this is within you, and only you know the true form of the phantom created by the imagination of the mind. So, Lord, through we understand the course of the earthly events, and we move joy and sorrow by what we consider as good fortune or misfortune. So worldly events means, yes, I have son, I have a house, I am doing this, everything related to the worldly events, earthly events. And then after that I was moved with the good fortune and misfortune. By your grace I have seen my son again, and I realize that mind alone is the body. It is the mind alone that conjures up the world vision. And then the three worlds, waking, dream, and sleep, are nothing but the expression of the faculties of the mind. This expression can be considered as a real or unreal. So waking, dream, and sleep are nothing but the expressions of the mind. This is very interesting. You think about this. What is this waking state means to you? Who is awake? Who is dreaming? Who is asleep? Ask this question. This is very interesting. And then when the mind conditioned by the perception of the diversity sees the diversity. So if you see the diversity, if you are perceiving the diversity, then everything you will see in diversity. The mind itself gets involved into the world appearances by entertaining countless notions that I am weak, I am unhappy, I am foolish, etc. When the understanding arises that all this is but the false creation of the mind, then I am what I am. All these notions, all these concepts, all these ideas that you have thought about yourself and you have given to yourself the names and labels, the moment you realize that no, that this is all false and this is all creation of my mind, then you are out of that and you are what you are. There is no need for you to be something to get the recognition from yourself or for anybody else about your existence. You are what you are. The mind is like the vast ocean of the infinite varieties of the creatures within it, and the surface ripples and the waves of the different sizes rise and fall. There is neither a bonded nor liberation. Not only that infinite being is seen, yet the external is veiled by the transient. So there is neither bonded nor liberation. This is again because bondage and liberation exist on the level of the mind, because mind wants to be liberated, mind thinks is bound by something. Yet the eternal is veiled by the transient, and this is indeed the great wonder. Though revolving thus the wheel of ignorance and delusion, when one steps into the wisdom concerning the supreme truth, is instantly redeemed. And when you know that this is the ignorance and delusion, you are just caught up into the wheel of ignorance and delusion. The moment you steps into the wisdom considering the supreme truth, you are out of that. The moment you see this step of you have taken, that yes, I want to know the truth, I want to know more than what I can see, what I can think of myself, that itself has got you out of that, because there is the basic consideration that what you are thinking, what is making you suffer through all those things is not you. and then you are moving towards that understanding the ultimate truth. So that's why the same thing has said here, that the moment you understand that you are caught up into the wheel of ignorance and delusion, and you want to seek the wisdom, you are already coming out of that, and you are already started the path, that's where we end on 19th of April. Now we will do next time 20th of April and onwards. However, I will post it on the group that what we should be studying. But please read this again, and please understand this again, how the time has explained the existence of the mind is temporary and illusion based, and how we exist beyond the mind, and how this world is getting created by the mind. So take care. I will see you next time. Jai Gurudev. Bye.